Hi there! In this video I will be doing a tutorial on how to create a digital planner to sell online. So welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then hello, I'm Sarah and I talk about creative ways to build financial freedom and also how to create a purpose-led business. So if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. So digital planners are fast becoming a really profitable digital product to sell on places like Etsy, and they can be really fun to create. So today I will show you how to create a digital planner in Canva that includes hyperlinks, so your customer can upload their planner into one of the note-taking applications such as Goodnotes and navigate the pages using the links in your file. So let's get started. So we'll be using Canva to create our digital planner. It's completely free to do this. You do not need the Canva Pro account to do the digital planner. So this is the one that I did earlier today, just before the video. So this is one that we're going to recreate, and I will show you how to recreate it. So as you can see, we've got all of the months of the year and a little notes page at the end. So to recreate this, all we're going to do is go to the home page and create a design. And I'm just going to click on A4 document, which the measurements for it are 210 by 297 millimeters. Or if you're in the US, I think you could probably use US letter size. I'm going to rename it digital planner. Yeah, and we're going to add the pages first of all. So I'm just going to go to this grid section here, and I'm literally going to add, how many pages do we have? 14 pages. So I'm just going to add all the pages. I'm going to try and show you the quickest way of doing this, just for the demonstration purposes. So what we're going to do first of all, we're going to create the tabs that go along the side of the planner. So for this particular digital planner, we're going to create hyperlinked tabs. So if your customer was to purchase this planner or used to use it yourself in something like Goodnotes, you could simply import it into the app, and then you would have the tabs along the side, and you could click on the tabs and it would take you to the corresponding page. Now to do that and to make it even, I'm going to come up here to File at the top, and then we're going to go to View Settings, and I'm going to go to Add Guides. And as you can see, it's sort of separated the page. We don't want columns, we actually want rows. So I'm going to click on Custom, and I'm going to remove the column, set that to 0. Because we have 14 pages, I'm going to have 14 rows. So each page we're going to have a tab, and I'm going to have a little bit of a gap, 5, and I'm going to also have a margin, and I'm going to have a margin at the top and also at the bottom, at the side, the bottom and the top. So as you can see, it's now just add the guides. So as you can see, it's not only given me a space between each row, it's given me a margin along the top and the bottom as well. And you'll see why in a second. So I am going to click on Elements to create my tabs, and I'm just going to click on a basic shape, a square shape with rounded corners, and I'm going to just change it a little bit. I don't want it quite so round. And because we have our guides now, we're not sort of going in blind. It's a really quick way of making everything the same size and all aligned without taking too much time over it. So I wouldn't worry too much about the width of the tab, because we're going to cover that with another element in a second. But just to make sure that it fits in between the guides that you've done. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so you can obviously butt it up to the guides.
I'm just going to change this colour because I'm just going to make it a simple grey colour. I'm going to make it a nice light grey colour. So that's the colour that we have. So I'm going to copy, that's Control or Command and C to copy, and Control and V to paste. So I'm just going to paste and make sure that it fits into the guides. This is a really quick way of making sure that everything's all aligned really nicely and it looks neat and tidy. That's the last one there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Elements, and I'm going to click on a basic square shape, and I'm going to make this white, and I'm going to pull it along and all the way down. And as you can see, the tabs are now behind that white shape. So if I go to File, View Settings, and so you can't see the guides, as you can see, you've got all of your tabs with the behind the actual page. Now this will change the middle of the page as well. So I'm just going to go back to the guides. Actually, I'll do this in a second. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to add the navigation tabs. So let me just see. So I'm just going to click on text, add a heading, and I'm just going to lock this page so it doesn't keep moving around. Really simple to do, just the little lock position there. I'm going to change this to, not that one, Quicksand, just a basic sans serif font, and make it a bit smaller. I'm going to go to, that's the one, to capitalise, and I'm going to make it bold. So the first tab will be the home page, which is this page. And I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to go back to the guide so I can see what I'm doing. So this is really the first thing to do, is to add the navigation. I'm just going to stretch the text right the way along, so then you know that it's centered. So you can actually just drag the text box so that's centered, and then make sure it's centered in the shape. I just do that by eye. It's the most accurate way to do it, I find. And I'm going to make that white. So I'm going to add a little bit of space as well, actually, just a little bit. So yeah, we're going to add the navigation first. We're going to add all of the months of the year. And as you can see, it lines up with the text above it. You can obviously see the lines, but what you can do, if you want, you can put a little guideline in so that you can line that up. So January, I'm just going to go through all of the months of the year. So these are going to be our pages. So this is our last page, December, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that text again, and I'm going to create a notes page at the end, notes, and as you can see, that's all of our, I'm just going to come off the guides, that's all of our little tabs along the side looking nice and neat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to name the pages. So we've created 14 pages to go along with our tabs for each page. So I'm just going to name the pages. This makes it a little bit easier when you're coming to do the hyperlinks, because then you can actually see and check that you are linking the tab to the correct page. So I'm just going to, these are going to be each month. So March, and then December, and the last page, which is our notes page. So we have all of the pages labeled, named, and we have all of our tabs created using, obviously, with the help of our guidelines, our little grid system. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create the hyperlink so that when you click on the tab, it will take you to the corresponding page. So I'm just going to scroll in, and I am going to, when you create the hyperlinks, avoid clicking on the text to create the link, because it will then underline that text. So it won't look as aesthetically pleasing. So I always click on the box behind the text to add the link. Now there's a few different ways you can add the link. You can either right click on your mouse and go to link, or you can click on the little three dots and then go to link. And then if you look here and just keep scrolling down, it will come up with pages in this document. So the home tab, we want to link to the home page. Okay, and then we just the next page with the three dots, go to link, and that's going to be January. Okay. So lastly, we have December, and then the last page, the last tab is our notes tab. So we go all the way to the bottom to notes. So now we have all of our links added. You can test the links. Obviously, when you download this as a PDF, it will work when you just click, on this tab here. But you can test the link. So if I want to test it, I can just click in here and then go to the page. And that should be, tell me at the top, it should be March. So we have all of our tabs. I'm just going to scroll out. Now, the quickest way, I'm going to unlock this page first of all, otherwise it won't copy across. So the quickest way to copy this across all pages is to highlight it. I'm going to group it all together. You can do that here. Obviously, that would ungroup it, or you can go to Command and G or Control and G, and it will group everything together. And I'm just going to go copy that. So you can either copy it, or you can go to Command and C. And I'm going to click in the page underneath and literally just paste it in. And it should paste in exactly the same position that the previous page was pasted in. So to just double check that it's lined up, I'm going to flick the guides back on, and you can see that that's lined up exactly where we want it. So I'm just going to do that for every page. So click on the page and then Command or Control and V. Really, really quick. So what you're doing is you're saving yourself a real lot of trouble doing each page individually. You literally just copy in, putting all the links on one page and then copying it across to all 14 pages. So it just saves you a real lot of time. You only have to do it once. And that's all of the pages. So, right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this is going to be the home page. So this is going to be where we have our title and what it's about. So I'm just going to lock this white bit here so it doesn't move around when I'm trying to sort of do the work on there, and it shouldn't affect any of the tabs. And I'm just going to go to text. I'm going to add a heading. I'm going to try and do this quickly. Use the same font. I'm going to use Quicksand, and I'm going to capitalize it. Let me just double check how it looks there. And I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm going to call this Year Planner line spacing. Obviously that's just here at the top, the spacing, because that's too far apart really. It doesn't flow very well. Maybe not that much. So a bit more. year planner. I'm just going to copy and paste that rather than, so 2024. I'm going to change this text here to a nice cursive text. I think what I used for the previous one was bright wall. Again, just to make you aware, when you are choosing fonts for your planner, if you do not have Canva Pro, then you will need to look for fonts without the Pro sort of crown on the side. So all of the fonts without the crown you can use. So if you wanted to choose like a handwritten font, you can click on there and it will bring up all of the handwritten fonts, etc. So you can obviously display fonts, paragraph sans serif, and that's how you can find different fonts quickly. I'm going to make this slightly smaller, just so it sort of lines up, and I'm going to add some nice little elements to that. So I'm going to go on recently used, because I did this earlier and I used, I found some nice elements, some little decorative elements here. So I'm just going to use this just as a little flourish. Now just to obviously make you aware, sometimes Canva does this. When you try to resize, it won't let you. So the easiest way to do it is actually just to zoom in and then try it again. And it should let you resize it to the size you want. It's just a little glitch it has, but it will do it if you persevere. So I'm just going to flip this horizontally, make sure it's lined up, and then I'm just going to move it across to the other side. Yeah, that'll do. Oh yeah, just another thing to keep in mind, I've just forgotten about this actually. I'm going to go back to the guides. I'm just going to go to clear guides because we don't need those guides anymore. Obviously your center of your center alignment will be slightly off, because if you're centering your, for example, your title on the page, it's going to look slightly askew to one side because you have these tabs at the along the right hand side. So what I do, it's kind of a, because obviously it's Canva, we don't have the same sort of sophistication as some of the other programs. A really quick way that I find the middle is I add a shape. This is just the way I do it. It's very, very rough, but it works for me. And then I pull the square shape, the rectangle, from one side to the other, and I want the middle between that edge there and obviously this border here. So you can see these sort of 2 points here. If you get a guide and pull it across till it goes red, that'll be the center of those 2 points. And then what else I'm going to do, I want a little bit of a margin, and obviously I can't use the other margins that are already set, because again it'll be off center. So I'm just going to think, right, I want the margin to be about here, about a centimetre. Well, that's what it looks like on my screen. So I'm going to double that distance from here, and then I'm going to drag that back into the centre till it highlights red, and then I'm going to add a guide on that side, and I'm going to delete that, and that's your guides. So then you can group your text, and then you can just drag it until it highlights, and that will be in the middle of your planner. So it's a really quick, sort of simple way of centering. It's very rough, but it does sort of look to the eye centered. And I'm going to come to the position and just make sure that's kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to add some nice fancy elements. Really quick way I did this. I found this nice sort of coloured in circle. I'm just going to lock the guides as well, so that I don't accidentally click on it and move it around. So I just turn that on a side, and then I'm just going to right click and then send it to the back. No, I'm not going to send it to the back because it sends it behind this white section. I'm going to bring this section to the front instead. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller and then line it up with that center line. And then I'm just going to make this not quite as bright. I'm just going to turn down the opacity, and I'm going to add some nice little fancy elements to my design. So what did I use on here? I found some nice little pink dots. So I quite like the little pink pastel colours. So I'll add that there. Copy that. Add some more up there. You know, I've not been too precise. I'm literally just sort of placing it on. Some sort of paint splashes. And some stars. And I think what I did for these stars was I matched the colour to this yellow here. So I just clicked on the colour, and there's a few ways you can do it. Obviously, it brings you the colours up here that sort of match your elements in your document. Or you can click on here and then click on the little pipette and click in there. And maybe do that again. And then it should have changed it to match the same colour. So if we just zoom out and then take away the guides, we can see that's our nice sort of planner page. What I'm going to do as well, I'm going to include the planner that I create today, or actually the one that I did earlier today, because this one's I've checked through and it's all the dates are in accurately. I'm going to create this as a free template that you can download, and I'm going to drop the link in the description box as well. So it includes a free template. So all we have to do now is the months. So down to the next page, I'm just going to lock this page in place. Now, the quickest way that I did this was I went to the top here to design, and I typed on, I think I typed 2024 calendar. Hang on. Yeah, 2024 calendar, and I just used one of these, one that preferably doesn't have, you know, obviously if you've got Canva Pro, you can use the ones with the Pro elements. But if you just have a free Canva account, obviously it just makes it simpler not to use those, because then you have to work out which bits within that template are the Pro elements, and it's a bit of a headache. So I literally just found one of these. Oh, hang on. I'll go down to the bottom. I'll add a separate page because this page is going to be deleted later on. And find one. I'm going to click on that one, and then okay, and then all I did was I deleted all of the bits that I didn't want, and just kept this little grid section here, and I just changed the text to match my font. Obviously, I don't know why they've done this, but this is being done like as one long piece of text. So I would separate this text up and just center it. Obviously, I want to match that and make it the same font that I have used. Go back, quicksand, bold. I'm literally just going to copy and paste that. So Tuesday, I was going to do this really quick just for the sake of the demonstration. So you can see that's centered because the lines, the little red sort of guidelines come up. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obviously, I've started that as a Monday week, but you can do it as a Sunday start. And then obviously make sure that all of your dates are right for 2024. I just pulled up the calendar on my iPhone and I just changed, and obviously just manually went in, and you know, obviously if that was the first started on the Thursday, I would change that to a 1, etc., etc., and just make sure that it's all, you know, your dates are all incorrectly. And you know, you can change the colours on here as well. So the grid, you know, the grid, you can change the colours, make it a bit darker for that, and make these darker as well. And then what I actually did is I added a nice yellow behind. So I just went to Elements and clicked on a square shape. And I clicked on that nice yellow, and then I went to here, and I made that and then I just went to Layer, Center Back. Obviously I would make these a little bit darker, and then once you've got it where you want it, you group it together, and then you would come back to your page for January, and you would just paste it on, making sure you had your guides on and you pulled it into your margin. Now what I'm going to do, because I don't want to spend absolutely ages showing you exactly how to do this, you know, extremely neatly like I've done. I'm actually just going to use the one I did without. I'm just going to copy and paste that in. So again, all I've done is I've added some little boxes at the bottom, and made those a nice pink to sort of match this colour here, and made it as a transparency, so let's turn the opacity down, for reminders and notes, and then I just added the title. So I literally ungroup. I just took that, copied, January, and then again the middle guides and the margins that we added, it will copy through onto all of your pages. How we did on the first page, it will copy those guides onto your next pages. Obviously this goes slightly over the margin, but you can make that smaller, group it together and make it smaller. And then I will take this and just make that a bit smaller. There we go. So, and all you would do is I would actually just group this together, the whole thing, group it together, and then I would, exactly the same way we did with the tabs, I copied it across and then just change the date, so February, and then again for March, April. So just taking into account that what you will need to do is you will need to make sure that all of your dates are correct. So I actually went in and checked this individually, and I went into each date and changed each date. Obviously that was correct on the calendar, although you might find some mistakes. If you do, I do apologise. So yeah, literally that's all I did. I went through and pasted this onto each page, and then just amended it manually with the dates on. So each page, and then when it came to, so that would have been November, that would have been December. So, and again, check all of your dates are in the correct page. I'm just going to delete this page at the back. So this is our notes page. Obviously we did 14 pages. This was our notes page here, and on this page I just did some lines, so some plain lines. And again, the same way that I did the calendar, I just went into here and typed in notes, and I think I found some lined paper. It was this one. Oh, no, I don't want to add another page. Right, I'll just add another page, and I'll add some notes on here. You can't really see them, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight them. I'm going to make it darker, and because it's a dotted line, you can't see it. I'm just going to make it a straight line, and I'm going to group it all together, and I'm going to get rid of. Oh no! I'm going to get rid of that. So, and then all I would do, again, group it together, copy, and place it onto your notes page. And obviously make sure it fits within the same margins and parameters that you've already set. And then I would just do exactly the same thing. Just going to lock that again so it doesn't get in the way. I'm just going to delete a few of these. Ooh, a few of these lines. I'm just going to write notes. There we go. And then come away, remove the guides, and you can see that looks nice and neat. Delete the end page, and that's obviously, you know, I haven't finished this. I'm just, you know, trying to do this as quick as possible for demonstration purposes, so you can see how I created my planner. So that's all I did, and then when I did mine, this is the finished copy of what it will look like when you go through, and obviously, you know, do it a little bit more carefully than what I've done. And then when you come to download it, I'm just going to download this one because I know this one I've actually done correctly. And when you download it, you would download it as a PNG standard, PDF standard, not PNG, PDF standard. And that's all 14 pages. And then I would download it. You can as well, what I often do because I do have a few planners that I sell on Etsy and various places, and I offer a digital version, and then you could go back and take away all of your hyperlink tabs and offer it as a printable version as well. So that's an option there. So when you've downloaded it, you will come to your downloads folder, and I'm just going to open this up. And so that's a PDF. Now, obviously, this you're going to be importing this into your Goodnotes, but I just wanted to show you how these little tabs work. So if I click on March, it will take me to March. If I click on August, it will take me, regardless of what page I'm on, I can go back to March. It will take me, and if I want to go back home, I'll click there, and it will take me back to the home page. So I'm not going to show you how to do it on Goodnotes on here because it's actually really simple. It's really simple to do, and for some reason my Mac doesn't like the Goodnotes app, so it won't allow me to do it. But I have tested this out on my iPad and the app on my phone, and it works. So all you would need to do is you would download this as a PDF standard, and your customer, to get this onto the Goodnotes app, your customer, I mean, you can obviously try this out yourself first. Your customer would just download the PDF. They would download it if they wanted to do it on their, for example, their iPad or their phone. They would need to download it onto their device in their files section, which it would automatically go into anyway if you were to download it, you know, using your device. And then you would open up Goodnotes, and I'm just going to quickly check because I have it in front of me here. you would open up Goodnotes, and then it would come to the documents page, which is the home page, and you would click on new. So it's like it gives you a little square, and you can create a new planner. So you would click on new, you would click on import, and you would find the file, and it would literally just open up, and then you have it in your Goodnotes app. I don't use any of the other apps, so I'm not sure what the process is, for example, for Notability or any of the other apps. If you have any experience, then obviously, drop me a comment. But that's basically how you do it. So what I'm going to do, I hope this hasn't been too complicated for you. I know I've sort of been switching to and fro different documents, but this particular document here, this digital year planner, the one I did earlier today, I'm going to upload this to my Gumroad account, so you can have this as a free template to get you started. You can use this for whatever you want to do. You can practice with it. You can change the colours and fonts and actually add some pages in between if you wanted to. So you could have like January as a calendar, then you could have some January goals, etc., etc. And you could make this bigger and bigger. You don't have to have links for every single page. What I tend to do is just have the link for the home page of, for example, that month that you're using, and obviously you can create different pages in between. But you can have this for free. I'll drop the link in the description below, so if you want to grab that, you can do. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Drop me a comment if you have anything to add, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed it, to be informed of obviously when I upload any future videos. And thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye bye.